Now at 5, protests hit the Pacific Northwest as hundreds rally against Washington's stay-at-home order. Plus, Oregon State researchers start testing for COVID-19 in Corvallis, while they're asking neighbors to swab their noses in a first-of-its-kind study. But first, more headaches for Oregonians seeking unemployment. We look into why many were told they needed to restart their claims again today. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us. I'm Brittany Fulkers. Before we get to those top stories, just a few thoughts. It's hard to stay off social media right now, really more than ever, and it can offer so many much-needed distractions. But as many of you know, at the same time, it can end up leaving you frustrated and maybe even divided from friends and family. Our country is at odds about when businesses can reopen and when we can ease stay-at-home restrictions. But if this virus has shown us one thing, it is how connected we really can be. How easily COVID-19 has passed from one person to another in a really weird way proves how much we all impact each other every single day. And no matter who you are, who you voted for, or what you believe in, this virus, it doesn't discriminate. So let's get to your top stories. We are still hearing from people who are having real trouble filing for unemployment benefits. Several people emailed us just today saying the system told them they had to restart their claim. Lindsay Nadrich got some answers.
The Oregon Employment Department is overwhelmed with people filing for unemployment insurance benefits, and it hasn't gone smoothly for everyone. Last week, they said the state's antiquated computer systems have been part of the problem, as well as the fact that they're just not set up to handle this many claims at once. Sunday morning, we received multiple emails from people who said when they went to file their weekly claim, they were told they had to start over.
You need to restart your claim because, all these you worked 40 hours, you've done something, and I knew I hadn't.
Hair salon owner Julie Jankerson said this is the second week in a row she's had this issue, and she's yet to see an unemployment payment.
I am going to have to pay my lease for my business, which I did last month. And, I still have expenses, even though I'm not working, and I'm not going anywhere. There's still expenses that we all have.
The Oregon Employment Department said we know the restart claim issue we saw last Sunday happened again this morning to many Oregonians claiming benefits. This issue has been fixed, and if you experience the restart claim error, you should be able to try again and successfully file your claim online now. They also said 100,000 people successfully filed and said the high number of claims paired with other weekend system maintenance caused the restart claim issue to happen again. But if you're still having trouble applying, we learned last week that you will still get paid for the weeks you were unemployed but were unable to file.
We are not going to have Oregonians lose out on benefits that they were eligible for because it was difficult to get through on our phones or because you needed to contact somebody to fix something related to an error or getting additional information to us on your claim.
Governor Brown also said she's working to waive the waiting week for people, but the Employment Department said it would take thousands of hours to reprogram their outdated system, and doing that would delay claims they're currently processing. They said they are looking at options, though. I'm Lindsay Nadrich, KGW News.
Thank you, Lindsay. And in Washington, eligibility is opening up for thousands of people who didn't previously qualify for unemployment insurance. The Federal CARES Act is now allowing payments to people who classify as independent contractors. The state's website was offline most of the day yesterday to make updates and to prepare for a new wave of requests.
The tsunami of new applications. We anticipate that we are going to have hundreds of thousands of Washingtonians be able to access these benefits.
In addition, the department has hired hundreds of people for a call center to handle requests. Washington's Employment Security Department acknowledges the system has been overwhelmed with 585,000 claims this past week. And frustrations are boiling over. Americans struggling through stay-at-home orders want the country to open up. Protesters are taking place coast to coast. In Olympia today, the Capitol campus was filled with hundreds of people knowingly violating the state's stay-at-home order and in many cases defying the practice of social distancing. Protesters are calling on Governor Jay Inslee to create a plan, urging him to end stay-home policies. The rally was short on speeches, yet full of people looking to unseat Inslee in the fall. The reality here is the crisis and the stay-at-home order won't change overnight, but the frustration over the balance between life and liberty is growing. Groups in Oregon are planning protests of their own. Facebook events say they're planning to meet in Salem on May 2nd. Now, the governors of Texas and Vermont will be the first to reopen some businesses on Monday. The president tweeted there are enough COVID-19 tests available to keep people safe. The governors from both parties are firing back.
That's just delusional to be making statements like that.
To say that the governors have plenty of testing and they should just get to work on testing, somehow we aren't doing our job, is just absolutely false.
The president's push to reopen comes as a new NBC Wall Street Journal poll shows 58% of voters are concerned loosening stay-at-home orders too soon will cause more deaths. 32% worry the U.S. will take too long, harming the economy. And case numbers are still growing across the country, including here in the Northwest. In Washington, there have been 624 deaths reported. 11,802 people have tested positive, and more than 135,000 people have been tested overall. In Oregon, 74 people have died. 1,910 have tested positive, and overall, more than 39,000 have been tested. Oregon State scientists have started a new effort to test more Oregonians for COVID-19. It's a first-of-its-kind program to do widespread random testing for the disease. Over the next 4 weekends, volunteers will go door to door in Corvallis to ask people if they would like to be tested for COVID-19. If they agree, they'll get a nasal swab kit left on their doorstep that they'll self-administer. The kits will be collected and sent to a lab for testing. The idea is to identify carriers of the virus who have no symptoms. Researchers expect to test about 4,000 people, but they're prepared to do more.
We would literally like to expand it beyond Corvallis to other communities in Oregon, and we need partners like the governor, funding agencies, nonprofits, and partners like Benton County Health. We're ready to go in other communities.
To be clear, the OSU effort is different from many other studies we're seeing involving antibodies.